Hello, everyone. How are you feeling? It's Sunday, final day. I just want to give everyone a round of applause for the massive work you've done this weekend. Everyone give a round of applause. We've had 30 teams, 150 participants from the most we've ever had from RBS internal participants, so that's amazing. Our external partners, we've had students. It's been mad. We've had donuts, we've had tears, we've had laughter, we've had coding, we've had presenting, and this is the final part. So, just want to give you a little bit of a video to give you that kind of sense of what you've done and what you've achieved over the course of the weekend. So, we'll give you a little 2-minute Edinburgh Hackathon. Donuts. God, looking back at that, I just have a complete blackout of Friday evening when I was starting this, and now it's kind of all coming to a close. So I'm really excited to see our final pitches. I just want to give another massive round of applause to everyone that has already pitched today, because it's really hard. Thank you. And obviously we've got our lovely judges here, so welcome judges to see the final 12 pitches. If I could just ask each of our judges for the rest of the audience that are pitching today, if you could just tell us who you are and what your role is in the organisation, that would be amazing.
I'll kick off then. Hi, it's Dan Salmons. I'm Director of Innovation in Home Buying and Ownership.
Hello everyone, I'm Marcelino Castrillo, I'm Managing Director of Personal and Premier Banking, which is basically branches, telephony, and all the great people that serve our customers every day.
Hi, I'm Georgina. I've met most of you, I hope, over the course of the weekend. Thank you all so much for being here. I have this amazing job, so I get to look after strategy and innovation for the personal and business banks.
Thank you. Hi everyone, Les Matheson, CEO of Personal and Business Banking.
I think we're switching mic, that's okay. Hi everyone, I'm Barry Connolly. I look after everyday banking, and I met most of you on Friday night. Cheers.
Hi, Patrick Eltridge. I'm the CIO, so I look after all of the technology people in RBS.
Hi, I'm Udita. I work in the innovation team here, and I kicked off this hackathon program 3 years ago.
And I'm Chris Elliott, responsible for all things security and fraud prevention across the group.
Thank you very much, judges. So we have had the heats this afternoon, and we've got 2 teams from each heat that will be making it through to the final. I will be still waiting for that list of finalists. But what I want to do is explain what's going to happen this afternoon. Again, you know your 3 minutes, including the demo and your pitch. So when I announce that list of names, the first team can start getting their tech ready. The team after should basically be on the sidelines, ready to start straight afterwards to start their tech, because we've got lots of tech changing around this afternoon, so we want to make sure that that's okay. I'll read out the list of names, your team name. Please listen to where you will appear in that list. That will be when you're going to be performing. We have a team of helpers in the audience that will be coming to find you, but please make sure if you're up next, then get ready, because we'll need you to start changing your tech. We also have a lot of people upstairs today. Please respect the teams presenting, because we do sometimes get a lot of feedback and we can hear what's going on, and it's quite distracting for the people presenting, so encourage each other, but please keep the noise down when people are presenting. And all that's left is to determine who our finalists are. This is the biggest pause for dramatic effect you will get this whole weekend, I promise.
And it's also totally unplanned. So it's basically, it's like trying to choose a pope, isn't it? We're waiting for the white smoke to come out over there. They have chosen their 12. I think they were wrestling on a 13th one. So the helpers are going in there. We're going to get a list out, and we'll just read out the names shortly. We'll also put them up on the board here. Those are the 12 winners, in the sense that they've gone through to the final. There might be a wild card 13th, based on some little whispers I'm hearing. So we're almost there. Let's just play some music and pause for a moment while we get that. Thanks.
Made an ocean, making islands where no island should go. Oh no. So
So remember earlier in the pitch session when I said keep to time? I was taking my own advice, I need to take it. So thank you very much. We have the list, and it being lucky number 13, we have a wild card, lucky number 13. So I'm going to read out all the teams. The first team, if you come, when I tell you your name, if you go to the guys on the side there, they'll start getting you prepped. You'll be hooked up to some mics, and you need to let them know if you've got audio on your laptops, because they'll need to hook that up too. So here we go. I'll do an imaginary drum roll. Great, yes. Okay, so the first team that will be up on stage is Click and Lend. They will then be followed by Text Message Banking. And then Peter Pocket Lender. They will be followed by Road to Home, followed by Mortgage Life Coach. Then it's up to the banking Yodas to come on stage. Then it will be Pay It Forward. And then Matt West. Then it's up to Thin File Borrowing. We then have In the Loop, that will now be secured to document upload. Then it's Divide. Life Plan is next. Landmark will follow. And the wild card is Building Blocks. Okay, so you guys ready? Right, so while we're just getting the first team ready, text message banking, if you want to make yourselves known to the helpers around you, and then we need to start getting that. So think about where you are in that order, because we need to get this going. We need to keep to time. 3 minutes for your pitches, remember.
Oh, so kind.
Thank you.
So do we start when I start talking officially? Is that the case? Okay. So good afternoon. We are Team Lend and Click and Lend rather, and we'd like to talk to you about an exciting opportunity and an app that we've recently developed for really enhancing our customers and helping them to make a good financial decision, better, smarter, and easier financial decisions. And those decisions, they are to do with their purchases. So they're the important purchases that our customers make on a fairly regular basis. So when we're talking about customers, we're talking about Jenny. So Jenny's our customer, and she works in social media, and what's really important to her is her laptop. And Jenny, she uses it for her career, and she uses it in her lifestyle. So she needs an update to that laptop. Now, that's what she does know. What she really needs to know is, well, can she afford a new laptop? And what are her options? And that's where our app comes into play.
Right, so I'm Jenny. Pleasure to meet you. So I have my Click and Lend app on my phone. It's already connected to my RBS account. It's connected to my HSBC account, all via the open banking API, right? So now Click and Lend knows what's my spending pattern. It knows how long of a customer am I. So it has a few of those critical information in there, right? To answer his question, so let's say that I want to click a laptop, right? So for the purpose of the demo, I'm going to click this. I'm going to say use photo. What it's doing right now is that it's going through a cycle of a couple of things. So it's understanding who you are as a person. It's understanding what's your income, what goes out each month, what's your affordability like, what's your character like, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then it takes you to this screen, which is when you are approved for that loan. So a couple of things on the screen. So it tells you what's that amount. So in this case, that laptop costs about £1,700. And if you go down, it gives you a bunch of financing options. For example, RBS has, one of the items is RBS. The other item is from HSBC, which is where we're bringing in that ecosystem play into that. Now, Jenny, I need to, let's say, adjust my payment term. I need to make it 24 months. 70% is my, of the total value is what I want to lend. And I'm going to choose RBS in this case. So I'm going to hit go. The declaration, I agree, and yay. So it's debited into my account right then and there.
And what's really, really important to us in this is that we bring the bank closer to the point of purchase with the customer, and so that we're there for an option. We have 6 million bank app users, and we want to tap into, at least if we can tap into 1% of that, we believe we can make about £60 million in new revenue, because these are customers that might not have used us for this facility before. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh no, we got to stay.
How's that?
Okay.
Okay. Talk to us a bit more about how you bring the bank closer to the customer. So what's the feature or functionality? How does that work?
Okay, so it's a good question. So for us to get closer to the point of purchase, so we know that we use our apps an awful lot, and we use our phones an awful lot, and we want to make it really easy for a customer to get a really quick quote for something that they really feel passionately about purchasing, and something that's going to enhance their life. So by using this app, we can get close and offer to a customer nice and early a financing option where before we might have been an afterthought. And that's why we want to get closer to the point at which the customer wants to buy rather than thinking about us afterwards.
It's about bringing that decision up front, right next to me as a customer.
Yeah, another one from me, hopefully as good as Les's. So you mentioned you're going to help customers understand their affordability. How are you planning on doing that?
So it's at the end of the day, it's a risk matrix that we will be having. So things like character comes into play. Are you an RBS customer who's been there for 10 years? What's my incomes? What goes out of my account? Affordability at the end of the month. What am I going to have? And then a few other parameters in that. So that's going to form my, the crux of that risk matrix. And it's going to be based on this. Even the ecosystem that comes in is going to still tap into this risk matrix that RBS owns. So at the, we are essentially putting RBS at the center of that risk matrix. So the ecosystem is, the marketplace is around RBS. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Text message banking, are you ready?
We're good? Good afternoon, I'm Richard Reed, and I want to kick off by family. So here's my family. In particular, there's two of these people I want you to meet. It's my dad and my son. So my dad's on the right there. He's 81 years old. In fact, 81 this coming Tuesday. He's one of 12 million over 65s in the UK. Unfortunately, he doesn't do online banking. He kind of finds the passwords and the navigation a bit too tricky. He's rubbish with a smartphone, so he doesn't use the app. We're in the process of closing his nearest branch. But what he can do is text. He's good at texting. But when he has a basic query about his bank account, he either has to visit a branch, wait for his statement to come, or he'll phone up and wait in the queue for telephone banking. And so he does tend to get frustrated by the delays and the amount of time it takes to answer his question. And also he's taking up NatWest staff time answering those questions. My 17-year-old son, on the left, he's one of 95% of people in his age group who have a smartphone. He never uses his phone to call, rarely to text, and he's always running out of data. And when he's out of data, he can't check what's going on with his account. So our proposal is to provide a text message service to instantly answer simple account queries for customers who are struggling to access online banking. So this is all really about providing better customer service. It'll give my dad more control over his finances, along with other elderly and vulnerable customers. It'll give them instant peace of mind if they have questions about particular transactions. It'll enable my son to understand his account straight away without needing to find some Wi-Fi. So we estimate it could save the bank around £4 million a year through reduction in branch footfall and call centre traffic. It's quick and it's really convenient. So we'll just show you the demo. So what's happening here is my dad's texting free format text message to RBS. It's being delivered through the SMS gateway and it's being read by IBM Watson. So that's the artificial intelligence code engine. It's all existing bank technology that's reading the message, interpreting it, picking out the keywords to understand what the question is. It's finding the answer to that and it's sending that back to my dad. When the question isn't clear, it asks, which account are you talking about? What transaction are you referring to there? And the bank knows it's my dad because it can tell what phone number the text is coming from. So we're looking for your sponsorship to implement this really simple, low-cost idea. It'll give my dad and my son better control over their finances. And will give lots of other customers a really simple, easy way to get information instantly wherever they are. Thank you.
The question you're probably going to hate. Did you look at security of SMS?
We have looked at it, and that's your area, isn't it, Chris?
It is.
So we think there's, using the phone number will be kind of some basic identification. And we do appreciate that, people can get copies of your SIM card relatively easily. I guess there's a couple of bits here. One is we're sharing kind kind of transaction data. So we think that's pretty low risk. One bit of the demo we haven't shown you, because of time, is we're looking at being able to send small value payments to payees already set up on the account. Okay. So kind of, repeat payments. So potentially we might want to put in some kind of second level authentication to authorize that.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Could you explain how you arrived at the number of 4 million?
Yes, so we looked at, so over 65s is currently about 18% of the population. Looked at how many customers we've got over 65, and then I think we estimated that maybe 25% of them might benefit from this, and that might reduce a couple of calls or visits to a branch a year, and we've estimated about kind of 7-8 minutes per transaction for each of those. And so when you multiply that all up, that's the figure it comes out with.
Peter Pocket.
Hi there, everyone. My name is Michael, and I'm here to present Peter Pocket. Sorry. Oh, okay. Sorry. I was quite speaker. My name is Michael. I'm here to present Peter Pocket. You tell me when to start. It's Peter Pocket, by the way. Just in case you want. I won't repeat that. Hi there. My name is Michael and Peter Pocket. What I'm presenting today is a unique app designed for young children. It's really about helping them learn about how to borrow. It's a unique development. One stat I'd like to share with you, just to keep it in context. By the end of today, 248 people will go bankrupt in the UK. That's about 100,000 people. That's the size of Wembley, or just over the size of Wembley. So we've got a moral responsibility to help our customer, especially our young customers, as they grow up. Borrowing isn't necessarily bad. It's actually a very good thing. It helps you realize dreams. It helps you borrow to get a mortgage, buy a car, get a special holiday, or even in case of an emergency, you need an overdraft, there it is. So how do we help our children? Well, that's where Peter Pocket comes in. It's essentially a digital bank of mum and dad. It helps the child get rewards for borrowing in a responsible way, but similarly, it also helps them get bonuses and helps them understand what the benefit of paying early. As a parent, it also allows, in my case, to actually teach my children how to borrow money. And I can also set rules behind it so that they understand what the consequences of borrowing money. So they understand the time, how long they've got to do, what fees, and also keeps them safe and secure within the compound of the home, family home as well. And it helps them consider the purchases. In terms of why this is important, did you know that about 5 million people between the age of 8 and 18 do not have a bank account today? That's the size of Scotland, just to give you a proportion. And the key thing to learn is that you're more likely to stay with your bank longer, 17 years, than you are to stay married, which is 11 years. And this is how Pocket
Hello, let me talk you through Peter Pocket. It's currently a website, but we believe we can make it an app with time. The customer journey starts with registering. Basically, once you fill out the form, based on your response, you either get a child interface or a parent interface, which we are building to your respective accounts, current accounts. Let's say Peter sees a guitar in the shop, he doesn't have the money, but he would like to buy it. All he needs to do, he just needs to go on Peter Pocket, request a loan from his parent by providing the description of the item and the amount, and then the request is sent to the parent, which we just write to the parent interface. So once the parent receives it, he can actually establish conditions as for like what installments he's looking to get, let's say £5, and in what intervals, let's say every week. If Peter accepts the conditions, then he gets the money transferred to his account from the parent's current account, and then he makes the transaction through his debit account. After this, he needs to start paying
Okay, so one question from me.
Yep.
So the idea of gamification is obviously really exciting when you think about children. It's not here in the prototype build, but how did you see that working? So what games were you thinking of for children, and how would that help your product?
So the way I see it working is very much integrated within the app. As much as possible, it will mirror the adult proposition, so you'll see what you're lending. So obviously in the case of a child, it might be £20, £30, and they'll have an understanding of what the conditions are. Obviously keep it simple, keep it tailored to their needs and language. From a parent side, it will be very much as a sub-account or sub-element within the app, so they can actually track in the same way as they can see how much they have in a balance or how much savings they've got. So it gives them an integrated view of what's going on as well. As far as the child is concerned, obviously, if they want that little box of Lego or that guitar or whatever it is that they're actually seeking to get, they have to think about it, because obviously they're making a commitment to pay that loan back as well. And they have to kind of consider that. Likewise, within the educational piece and the gaming, and that's where we can actually expand further into the money sense world, there's the ability to earn credits within the games if you actually pay back in time, if you pay your loan in full, and likewise you're going to get penalties within that games as well. So it could be any sort of games that are educational.
Well done, guys. What's the commercial model? We didn't get much of a chance to talk about that.
So the commercial model is very much linked towards a future income that we get from those customers. Obviously, the crucial thing is that most, and I don't know, I'm trying to not, but when we kind of looked at each other, most of us are still with the same bank we were when we were young. So if you can get them early, remember there's 5 million people who don't have a bank account. If we have, say, a market share of the adult population of about 1 million people, if you can get a fraction of those customers back, that gives you quite an incremental benefit from that perspective. So in the short term, there isn't a commercial benefit as such. It's very much educational. It's very much kind of building that relationship. But the long-term engagement gives us those future customers that we're seeking as well.
Technology. It's on. Hello, can everyone hear me? Yeah. Hi, we are The Road to Home. I'm Joe, my colleague Marianne and Stuart. We are here to present an app to educate and prepare first-time buyers to help them realize their dream of owning a home.
So, 150,000 first-time buyers who use our AIP online calculator. However, we only have 3% of those customers that actually ultimately have their home with us. Customer feedback tells us that first-time buyers find the home buying journey experience very daunting and they're very apprehensive, so therefore revert to the comfort of having a mortgage broker. Our app is aimed to close that gap and to remove the need for a broker.
We are here to create a bond with the customer. We want to demystify mortgages, build their confidence, and that builds the confidence of them in the bank, leading to retention of the customer as well as conversion. Stuart, you want to give a demo of the app, please?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. So this is our Road to Home app. The homepage looks like this. So I'm Stuart. This time last year, I decided I was going to take the first step in realizing the dream of owning my own home. I had no idea where to start, so I downloaded this app. And you can see now that a year into that journey, I can track my performance, how my savings goals are compared to my target deposit amount. This screen's all based off my profile information. So if I click through to the next screen, you can see there that there's account information, contact details, and a series of targets that I've set for myself. So you'll notice the first one, well, one of those is the dream home price. When I first started this journey, I had no idea what a house costs. I don't know the market. We have functionality within the app that allows you to do that. So a little calculator, I enter the location. I've had a lovely time in Edinburgh this weekend. I'd like to live here. The home type, so I've put that in as well. And then I hit search and it returns the estimated price via the Zoopla connection that already exists through Home Agent, as well as a little monthly snapshot of what my expenditure might look like. We also have a suggestion there for if that's too expensive, you can flex those parameters. So maybe you don't want to be so central, or the house could be a little bit smaller. As well as that, I also had no idea what my monthly income was and how that stacked up in terms of what I had to play around with in savings. So we've got a little budget calculator that links into existing apps that are already on the RBS website. So I can pre-populate all this information and track my habits. You'll see from the home screen then that I've also earned a couple little badges along the way. And there's a space there for Mortgages Explained, where we delve a little bit deeper and tell you about the more complicated terms, such as lifetime ISAs and help to buy and all that kind of thing.
Stuart, can we just then hold that, because there's loads of features, but we believe we can get 28.5 million over 3 years.
Can you give us a bit of a sense of if there's anything else like this around on the market?
Thank you very much for your question. So what we did was we actually went and searched for mortgages on the App Store. And if you go and search for anything to do with mortgages, the only thing that comes up is loads and loads of mortgage calculators. But there's nothing that educates the customer on what mortgages are, what are the terms that they are supposed to be informed about, what is a mortgage, is it just a loan? Is there any running cost associated with it? How do I manage all of that? And there was nothing that prepared them. So for example, that links them to a sort of a deposit account, a notice account, savings account, whatever it is. So our app will help in getting it all together and demystifying it for the customers.
Thank you. You're showing one front screen. Can you actually demo more than that? Have you got an actual demo?
None of us are developers, so we have a few screens there, but no inbuilt functionality.
We unfortunately didn't have enough developers here this weekend, Les, and therefore we've used Stuart's skills in terms of using the app that's just allowed us to mock up the screens. So
okay.
we've used the best of what we had, I think, would be.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That means he's excited about it.
I'm sure we can get a developer after today to develop it for us, Georgina.
Give us a developer, we'll give you the product.
Could you talk a little bit more about the commercial opportunity, just to understand the size of the market? Just so we get a sense of that. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So we currently have our market share for our first-time buyers is probably one of our lower market shares. So we typically run about 10% of market share for first-time buyers. We know that we have an opportunity to explore that, given that the number of customers that actually use our tool, and I think we are the most popular AIP application out there. We believe that we run currently about 17-18% of remortgage customers, purchase customers, so we feel that getting towards similar number, 20% even, would be a great opportunity. I think the piece for us that we find really exciting about the app at the moment, the AIP online has no real opportunity for us to connect back to that customer, and we see the app as a hugely important piece that actually, as soon as we know they've connected on our calculator, we can send them the app and start that journey and engage them in the process, and then keep contact with them and their savings goals. And we're all guilty, we set aspirations, and sometimes some shiny new toy comes along and we don't quite save the money that month. But
I'm really sorry, guys, that's time. I'm really sorry.
Thank you. Thank you.
Fab. Right, hi everyone, I'm Stephen. I'm presenting for Team Mortgage Life Coach today. So we believe every single mortgage customer should be on the right product for them. So we know in the UK mortgage market, around 40% of people are on a standard variable rate mortgage. And some of these customers are really proactive. They're really making the most of that standard variable rate, they're making overpayments, and they're making use of that flexibility to their advantage. But we know there's another segment of this market who are not really engaged, they're not making the most of it, and they could save a lot of money and pay their mortgages off a lot sooner by changing to another product or by changing their repayments. So our aim is to inform and empower these disengaged, more complacent customers and help them to make the best financial choices. And that's where Millie comes in. So I'm going to log into my RBS mobile app. One of the things that we already do within the app is present products that a customer may be interested in that they're not already using. So a new credit card with a better rate. What we'd like to do is incorporate examining the mortgage that you're on and your behavior with that and suggest to you when you might be better off with another product. So if I click on my notification, I'll transfer through to Millie. Millie's our chatbot, and because RBS know our customers, Millie knows our customers. So unlike going to a mortgage calculator or a third-party mortgage broker website, I don't have to put all my information in because we know our customers. And Millie can straight away tell me that I could save £52,000. So I'm feeling pretty good right now. So we can progress through this user journey. I'd like a little bit more information about this, so I can progress through and view more details. And Millie can then integrate to the rest of the RBS platform. So this might mean linking off to our online paperless mortgages, or it could mean going to a financial health check, whether in branch or possibly in future online. So we believe this journey will be absolutely great for some of our users who are more complacent. You're prompted to engage, and you're delivered straight away with the impact for you. For people who might be interested on the technical side, Millie uses the Azure bot framework, and both Millie and the little website that we've demoed today are hosted in Azure. If anyone wants to chat later about how we found picking up the bot framework for the first time, we'd absolutely love that. Thanks very much for your time. That's how we plan to get our mortgage customers more engaged. And for Q&As, I'd like to invite Donna up to the stage. Donna originally pitched Millie and has been our financial brain box throughout the project. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephen.
Very much the right thing to do. In terms of commercial return, do you see an opportunity here?
Yeah, so I'm going to hand that one off to Donna.
Yes, absolutely. Currently, RBS mortgage book, I've got about 13% who are standard variable rate, and in the wider market, that is actually 40% in the wider market. So certainly from an open banking perspective, we believe that we could be market leaders with providing a service like this, and perhaps the initial loss of income from the mortgage switchover comparison is outweighed by the opportunity to be market leaders and the business out there to be gained from doing such a service like this.
Yeah, I think speaking to some of the judges earlier, there's some whisperings from the FCA as well about mortgages and people being on the right product. I think getting ahead of the market here is actually a really great opportunity.
Thank you. That was a really good pitch. Have you thought about whether this would also, Millie would also help people who are maybe looking for a mortgage, or do you see it more for people who are already on a mortgage, existing mortgage customer with RBS?
Absolutely. We are pitching it initially to look after our existing customers because we feel that it's the right thing to do for our customers. But certainly any other borrower out there with another bank who don't have that service, absolutely we can be, I guess, monopolising the market with this type of service and saving them having to look elsewhere.
Okay, yep, good to go. Right. So I want you to imagine a world where game becomes reality, where avatars become your advisors, and where savings become quests. We think there's a real opportunity for both our customers and our business in this space. We know a quarter of the population have no savings, and we know our competitors are pretty quickly changing how people interact with our apps, and they're taking our customer touch points. So in this digital world, how do we create immersive experiences that can really educate our customers on financial education? And how do we keep people coming back to our app and not onto those other ones? So we've developed a game, as you might have seen. Before I show you the game, I'm going to introduce you to Graham. Graham is here, Graham is here. Graham is an RBS customer. He knows he should take care of his money, but he's really not that interested. He'd much, much rather be playing Fortnite. He does hear there's some pretty cool RBS features coming out though. So he wants to see what it's all about, and he clicks on the app and he sees this thing called Financial Fantasy. It's pretty interesting. He clicks on it, and initially he's given the opportunity to create his own personal avatar, customized just for him. He's going to relate to this because that's his avatar that will grow and develop as he grows and develops financially. He's then given the opportunity to create some personal rules on what he does and doesn't want his personal avatar to tell him. He's going to follow those rules because they're his and they're not the bank's that are telling them. So he'll have day-to-day notifications, and he can set long-term goals, which we're calling quests. Ideal, because Graham's got a holiday coming up and he's got no savings, but he's going with his friends, so he invites them along to the quest as well. Come and join me, get involved. It's Monday, he goes about the game of life, and he spends less than £10, which was one of his targets for the week. So up comes his avatar. Awesome, great job, Graham. You did not spend more than £10. Here's some health points. But on Wednesday is a bad day and he buys one too many coffees in Costa. Uh-oh, here comes the avatar to tell him, you should not have done that. You told me to tell you, you shouldn't do it. So it reminds him, and he knows he needs to do better. Rest of the week he saves and he gets to Sunday and he wants to check his quest. How's he doing? He's doing pretty well, he's on the journey, he's moving forward. But what about compared to his friends? Oh, look at that. Both Les and Georgina have saved more money than me. I need to work harder. But not only does he need to work harder, he's kind of hit his goals, so let's reward him. We'll give him extra life points, and he can customize his avatar.
So I guess it's no surprise that our target market is the gaming market, which is growing exponentially. We're in a new and surprising demographic. There's about 10.5 million 10 to 24-year-olds, which is where we see it. We're about looking after the next generation of customers and building a really immersive and social experience. Invest in us.
It's fun.
Sylvia.
When you come, guys.
Real
well
team
done.
effort.
Oh, great. I'll ask an easy question so you can all have a go. Okay, great pitch. Well done. One of the challenges I would have thought with this particular market segment is you have to keep them interested. How would you keep them interested?
Do you want me to go first, so I have a go at it?
Go for it.
So if I'm being totally honest, the biggest challenge we had with this was really starting to narrow it down. We genuinely believe that we could just continue to grow this. It's a bit like any game. They don't go old because you're constantly adding and building stuff. The more data we have about our customers, is it coffee's falling on them? Is it they've bought too many PlayStation games? We also think we could take it down the route of, how do we work with partners in out with the banking organisation? So if you are on Amazon and have told me don't buy a new pair of clothes because you've bought too many trousers this week, up pops your avatar, don't buy money here because buy stuff here because you told me not to. But equally, if you're saving for a holiday, how can we give them discounts if they reach their goal quicker? If you're saving for a house, do we get them a fast-tracked appointment with a mortgage advisor? So honestly, I think we could stand and talk about the options for 10 minutes.
I think we'd use most of what works in the gaming world, so adding additional complexity, lots of DLC, lots of really interesting things which keep you involved and engaged in that experience. So you want to come back into the app again and then again, rather than looking at numbers on a screen, which is boring.
And what's the commercial use case? The commercial use case. So how do you monetize it?
So securing the next generation of customers. So didn't quite get there in the pitch, so thank you very much for asking. So of those 10.5 million customers, we think we've got about 15% if you take market share and do some numbers. So we think if we targeted maybe just getting 50 and relying on the viral effect of what we're trying to do, the spreading, the socialness of having quests that you go on together, we think that we can get at the next generation of customers. 1,500 lifetime value, I think 1,500 in revenue, 50,000, 70-something million over the next 50 years. But it's not about the numbers, it's about the experience.
It's a bit fun.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. All right.
Okay, can we talk now? Yes.
Test.
Right. Hello, everybody. We are Pay It Forward, and we connect those who can give to the homeless. Last year, £80 million were lost in donations just because people didn't have cash in hand. Homelessness affects 300,000 people in the UK, half of which are between 18 and 34 years old. Our solution applies AI and existing RBS services. It is very light touch, lightweight on infrastructure, it is low cost, and it will allow people without a bank account to process cashless payments. Now, Nick will show you how it works.
Cool. So let's have a look at the platform. This is Pay It Forward. So let's look at a typical donor. This is Robin. She's an RBS customer currently, and we've done some calculations on her previous spending habits and recommended that she could probably afford to give about £15 a month, but she doesn't have to commit to that. She can do lower or higher if she wants to. So let's say she does it, then the person on the receiving end of that is John. John is homeless, he sleeps on the street, he's having a pretty rough time. So using our system, he can receive credits which he can use in exchange for a hostel room. So he goes through verification, he gets asked, do you want to use your credits for a bed? And should he say yes, he can then get code, similar to your Get Cash scheme, and exchange that at the hostel for a place to sleep. Another interface for someone like Robin to use is within the app itself. So on your statement, let's say you just purchased a coffee from Costa for £3. The app would then show a banner within your statement saying, hey, do you want to pay this forward? You can help someone to sleep more comfortable tonight. So by pressing on this, you get a bit of information about the scheme. You can find out more through a link, and then let's say you choose to do so by pressing on the giving icon. £3 gets deducted from your total amount, hooked up to the live API, and then you get a little bit of information about people that have been helped this week. On top of that, we're also helping John, people like him, through Cora integration. So John can use natural language to speak with Cora and arrange his booking as well. By saying I'm cold, Cora understands this means that he's looking for a room. She leads him through the process of arranging a room and booking a room completely end-to-end, receiving the same end result of the 6-character code. So he takes that code to the desk and gets it exchanged.
Okay, so Pay It Forward is a social enterprise. RBS has a historic challenge of making banking accessible to disadvantaged people. Through our app, not only are we making it seamless for RBS customers to make donations, we're also adapting homeless people to a cashless society. So what we're looking to do with this app is partner with yourselves, use existing tech of Get Cash and ATM donations. So this is easy to do, it can be done today, so join us to be brilliant when it matters.
It's a really lovely and original idea. Tell me, how do you match the giving to the recipients?
So there's a certain slide on there which we didn't cover too much, but it was about pulling in weather data, and that's much more of a prevalent thing these days when you have to really consider the weather. Let's say you have a homeless person up in Scotland who's having a really hard time and it's like -10 degrees, but down in London it's maybe +2 degrees. We're going to prioritize the one that's having a much harder environmental situation because it's more important for him to get off the streets. For example, the Bees from the East came through last year, or earlier this year. There was a big push to get people off the streets. So that's one of the methods we would use.
And how do you handle if demand far outstrips supply? How do you...
Yeah, we're looking, so like a bank takes deposits from savers to lend to people. It's a similar scenario where we look at how many donors we've got to match that with how many homeless people we have on the app. So we certainly look to have a pot and not have too many homeless people searching for a service that we can't provide.
What are the risks in your business model?
I'd say the risks are exactly that the success of it outstrips what we can do in terms of the hostel beds, for example, that are available, but we'd look to partnership with charities to look at supply and demand and how we can work with those that know on the ground what the challenges are.
Okay, I'll be clearer on my question.
Okay.
Who vets those who receive in terms of their credibility? So the recipients.
So I think this is an idea that we think the bank can help service, and it can be part of the application. But really the success of this would be with probably a charity or a foundation, an organization that specializes in helping getting people off the streets. So we would, we don't believe that the vetting would really be part of the pay it forward application, the technology part of it. We would rely on third parties and charitable organisations who are every day working with the homeless, who are in the better position to do so.
Thank you.
Hello. So who in this room has had children or is thinking of having children at some point in the future? Raise your hands for us. Brilliant.
Keep your hands up if we could help as your bank to manage your money during this really important time. Great, thank you.
Even better. So we know that having a child is one of the most important times in a customer's life. But what we also know is that 60% of families experience some kind of financial challenge during parental leave. And on top of that, a third of mothers actually return to work quicker than they would have liked. And part of this problem is that the statutory maternity pay in the UK is around £630 per month, but the average UK salary is equal to around £1,800 per month. So there's a big gap there. So how are customers supposed to fill that gap? And what can we do as their bank to help them do that?
So that's where our solution, NatWest or PatWest loans, come in. We will build tailored short-term loans to meet our customers' needs at a time when money worries really should be the last thing on their mind. We will do this by providing a loan to supplement our customers' normal income and allow them to defer their payments until they return to work.
So this presents a huge opportunity for us and to help our customers at a really important time in their life. But how are we going to make money? So we know that our customers 80% of our customers by the mid-40s will have a family, so it's a huge market size. And what we'll do is our loan amounts will grow gradually and be paid in gradual instalments to complement the maternity salary. And the payment holiday, effectively it's a payment holiday, so we'll defer them paying that off until they return to work, which is unlike any other loan that's currently out there at the moment. But of course, this flexibility that we're offering our customers will come at a price, and it'll be reflected in our interest rates.
Additionally, we could sell these loans to our corporate customers to provide an enhanced maternity package to their employees. So we'd now like you to talk you through our demo.
Okay, so we really want to make this digitally effortless for our customers to see what difference it can make. It's hosted on a website, and we've coupled it with the current childcare cost calculator at the bottom there. But we've used an average family income of, well, an average income of one person there for the purposes of this. And the customer can then play around with the sliders to arrive at an amount that's suitable for them. But as you can see at the bottom, what we've done is included what the statutory pay is, and then when that runs out, that's when our top-up would come in for the customer. So this is just one example, but it is a live site that we've hosted on a website, so you can go and have a play around with it yourselves. And there's a QR code as well that you can use there. But it's all about simplicity and helping customers at this important time.
This truly is an opportunity for us to be brilliant when it matters most. Thank you.
Can you talk just a bit more about how you see it working? When would people take out a loan? How, at what point would you ask them to start paying back the loan? Just talk me a bit more about the mechanics.
Yep, so how we see that working is that they would apply for the loan whilst they're still in work. So as part of the planning to go on maternity, that would be one of the things that they do. And with lending, it would help the lending process that they were in work at that point. But then we would expect them to pay it back when they're in work, but we'd continue paying the loan when they're phasing back. But we would expect them to repay it once they're back in a stable working pattern, and we'd put a time limit on how long that phase return can be, so we'd have to be clear in how long they're allowed to phase back.
Yeah, it would be very much a balance between, lending for as long as we could, but also starting to get repayments on that loan.
And not every customer would want the top-up for sort of 9 months, say, or 6 months. They might just want it to plug a smaller gap in that time.
Yep. Were there any other features or ideas that you had that you didn't get time to demo that you wanted to tell us about?
Sorry, can you repeat?
Were there any other features or additional ideas or content that you have in your heads or in the demo that you didn't get time to pitch?
Yeah, so absolutely. So what we wanted to do is put it in the app as well as on a website. And we thought that could almost work in a way where we can give customers access to other mums in NatWest, so like Net Mums, but sort of like NatWest mums. And we thought there'd be opportunities there for sponsorship and products and other more financial money management, maternity money management applications. But we were so excited about this. There was loads of offshoots, but absolutely, yeah, there's other things that we could do.
Yeah, we wanted to explore further as well how we would mitigate the risk of a mum not returning to work, so explore that further with our credit risk colleagues perhaps. Consider using family members or a partner as a guarantor for these loans.
Or even trialling it with employees first of all and keeping it very close so it minimises the risk, or doing it business to business, like we mentioned.
Thank you.
Okay, hi everyone. So my name's Steph. I'm a recent graduate and just moved to London, which was of course really expensive, but when I looked into getting a short-term loan, I was either outright rejected or offered really unfavourable lending terms. And this was because I had a very limited credit history. In fact, 2/3 of millennials are classified as non-credit worthy. Although I now have a good job, I've never defaulted. It's my credit score that's stopping me from getting a fair loan. So that's why we're introducing an alternative credit score. Our product, DigiLend, is an AI-powered solution that takes into account financial, economic, and social factors to determine the risk and creditworthiness of an individual. So we're now going to run through a quick demo.
Yeah. So we have built a prototype dashboard. So this dashboard is basically to verify your credit worthiness based on non-credit data. So like Steph said, these are customers who do not have enough credit data to get a loan from the bank. So in this, we first of all, we ask the customer, can we use your data? So here we are using social data, professional data, your personal data, as well as financial health. And if he consents, and we ask him whether he's an RBS customer or not, because if he's an RBS customer, we can directly get his data with his consent. Once he registers, so this is the result screen which comes up. So this result screen is after an AI engine runs in the background and scores the customer based on all the data variables that he or she has provided. So we can get innumerable data sets and put into this AI engine and build a result set out of this. So if you see, this first window shows what you get in a credit score, but using non-credit data, which is very good. Second is the recommendations we are giving, where you fall weak, where you can improve. This is because we also store the credit information. If you see, you can go back and see what was the credit 2 months back, whether it has changed, how much it has changed. If you go down, it will finally show you how much loan you are eligible for, and what is the tenure, how much is the interest rate, and based on that, what is the monthly repayment that you have to make, so that you can plan your finances well ahead of time. Once you click on submit, everything is done. So I'm a customer. This is the entire customer journey I go through. I went to another bank. They denied me a loan. This, in a click of a button, are giving me a loan. This bank is giving me a loan. That is lovely. So this is based on AI-based engine. This AI-based engine we have built using a synthetic data at the moment. So this is how it looks like. So this is the high-level design that I'm showing you. It takes in all the data sets, runs through an artificial neural net that we have applied at this particular moment of time. Once this runs through this artificial neural net, it gives you the result. It gives you the results, which is what I showed you in the dashboard. Once you have these results, based on that, how much loan you are eligible, you can apply for that loan. But is this proposition hold business value? I'll hand over.
To close, I really want to emphasize that our customers are much more than just a credit score, and this is what our product reflects.
Very good, very creative. Just to try to bring it a bit more to life, what sort of information, for instance, from Instagram or networks like that, could you actually extract to give a sense of creditworthiness?
So if I understand your question correctly, it is what kind of information we are basing this entire algorithm on, what data. So we are looking at professional strength. So from your LinkedIn profile, we see,
No, LinkedIn I get. It's things like Instagram or Twitter or
So other than that, we see your transactions. So maybe in the past 20 years, you don't have any credit card, any loan on your name, but still you have a good financial health. You have been paying your utility bills. You have been paying rent. You have been paying for many other things. But just because you don't have any credit data, you have to wait, build a credit profile for the next 6 months, and then come back and apply for a loan. Instead of that, we'll look at all other data that you have, your financial health, and then based on that, we'll give you a risk score, and we'll suggest you how much loan can be approved for you.
And specifically talking about Instagram, let's say you post a picture saying you bought a DSLR recently. Now we all know DSLR costs a bomb. So we know you are a type of guy who can afford this. So yes, we can extract that.
From the social posts, how do you have some kind of weighting mechanism or to filter out the importance of posts? So for example, if I've bought a car, then I will probably need car insurance sort of thing. But if I've just been on holiday, it's unlikely that I will go on holiday very soon again. So how do you filter that in the back end?
Yes, definitely we have a weighting mechanism. So the model works differently for different individuals. So for example, it will give more weight for me on the social profile, but for him, it will give more weight on his professional profile. So this is what our algorithm does, artificial neural networks. Based on the past data that we supply to the network, it will build a score, it will build an algorithm which will give different weights to different parameters. So yes, it does that.
investment banking and retail banking, and more recently a social enterprise. While I was there, it basically helped to rehabilitate ex-offenders and help the long-term unemployed. While I was there, I realised that clients who have life-changing illnesses and difficult circumstances have no easy and safe way to communicate this to their banks. We have designed a simple and safe way for customers to upload confidential evidence, such as medical documents, to our specialist teams to ensure they get the help they need when they need it most. This will enable us to meet the FCA guidelines on protecting our vulnerable customers. It will also help us to become the UK's most trusted bank. We have developed this app on both iOS and Android. It's easily integrated into the app we already have. This solution can be used for customers, and it can also be used by our frontline staff, helping us keep our bank customers more safe and secure. Augusta will now explain how it works for a community banker.
As you can see from the video behind me, I am a community banker for NatWest. So a huge part of my role is supporting our vulnerable customers in accessing their banking needs. So I have visited customers in hospitals where I've had to gain the support of the nursing staff to photocopy documentation. I then have to take that documentation away with me, carrying it around for sometimes up to a week until I'm in a branch next. Now, obviously, this poses several issues. The obvious one being the security risk of carrying around confidential information. And another problem is the delay of documents getting to the processing centre. So that could potentially negatively impact the customers by not getting the response or outcome that they desire as soon as they need. We want to get things right first time for our customers, improving our service scores and building lasting relationships. This app would enable me to do this. When a customer is in a vulnerable situation, it can be a very, very, very difficult time, and finances will often take a back seat. This will take the ownership and the stress away from the individual, offering a more professional, streamlined service that none of our competitors currently offer. And thank you. So I'd like to invite Mark to the stage to answer some questions for you.
So just thinking about it from a customer perspective, obviously you're out in the community with customers. Are you envisaging that a customer says, actually, I'm not feeling well, could you come to my home, we'll have a meeting, and they share that information with you? So does this enable you to then document it, or is it more the image capture that the idea is about? So is it more about photographing documents and uploading them into the app, or is it more about you keying that information? So how does it work from a customer practical perspective?
So it'd be for customers to disclose that information to us when they feel it is appropriate and when they feel comfortable to do so. But also for myself, so following processes such as adding third parties if they're unable to manage their finances. I currently have to take identification, third-party mandate forms away with me and carry it around. So if I had a built-in app similar to the customer one on my iPad, I could take a screenshot of that, upload it straight onto our system and not have to return any identification or worrying about that paperwork being lost.
The other side to that as well is we already have the ability to do that through our paperless mortgage applications. So the securitization of that documentation and the upload facility for the documentation already exists in some shape or form.
And do you see this as just for RBS, or do you see it broader?
Ideally, we would like, after RBS to pick it up, to be picked up by other banks. We feel that it's maybe the only way that we can meet the FCA guidelines, because at the moment, we could end up with lots of complaints because we are effectively discriminating against people by not offering them the help they're actually entitled to. Because we don't have a good way at the moment for people to disclose. It's like Russian roulette if they contact customer services, whether they get someone who knows a lot about their issue, who's sympathetic, or someone who might just brush them off and then they don't try again.
There aren't any competitors doing this kind of thing at the minute. The types of relationships that we're seeing with Lloyds, for example, partnering with Macmillan, is more about what can we do to help that specific customer, or you can talk to us about your banking. What we're trying to offer here is it's a much wider facility as well. We're not thinking just patients suffering with cancer or mental health. There's other health and vulnerable customer issues as well across the board.
I mean, the thing is, it would benefit every person in this room. At some point, everyone will be a vulnerable customer.
Thank you.
The audio is broken.
Running out of toilet paper, and how is the light still on? You haven't paid your share in the time.
Dude, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
And we're running out of shower gel! Okay, who else here has had one of those awkward financial moments with their flatmates or loved ones?
So in the UK, millions of people share housing, and that number's on the increase. More and more young adults are living at home longer and expected to contribute towards the household bills. So managing the finances in these situations can be a nightmare, such as whose turn is it to pay for the electricity bill, or who still owes money for toilet paper.
Divide is the new app that will simplify our customers' finances and prevent arguments like this happening. It's digital first, it uses OCR technology, and it will be free to use for all users. You can create groups, upload, scan, or manually input your receipts. Should we have a look at it in action?
Divide is designed to be used for all household purchases and bills that are to be shared across a group. It will amalgamate all of those entries and calculate an overall cost of what everyone owes each other, cutting down transactions and saving everyone time and hassle. Divide will also link to each person's mobile banking app to allow them to make their payments in a matter of seconds using pay your contacts technology on an agreed date.
But why would the bank launch an app like this?
So it'll obviously add to our market-leading digital offering and promote our brands. It'll also increase customer retention and advocacy. It'll also attract more customers from a growing market, but most importantly, it'll open up new opportunities within data analytics.
Yes, we could use the data that we collect to offer our customers tailored solutions. That would help them get financially fitter, and it would help grow our business. You know what? We could even sell on those data trends to third parties. There's a profit to be made there. Okay, tell me more.
So firstly, we'd like to automate the payments using open banking too, and we can also expand the app to include household budgeting, so you could set shared spending goals, for example. But you could also allow group members to lend money to each other on a peer-to-peer basis, tracking everything via the app.
They're awesome ideas. And this is Divide. We hope that you liked it. And hey, why don't we get this launched for Christmas for our customers?
Thank you.
Great pitch, guys. Very creative. Well done. Did you see any risks around personal data between those sharing the app, and how did you think about managing those?
So there won't actually be any data stored on the app. It'll only just be your mobile phone number. The payment in the first instance will all be done separately. It will just be linking it to whatever mobile banking app you're using. In the future, we'd like to utilize open banking. Obviously, open banking and GDPR compliances have sort of come in at the same time, so we're not in the place to say how all that will look like, but yeah.
It would only show the transactions that you wanted the other person to see. So if you had a receipt and there was only 5 transactions out of 10 that you were asking them to contribute to, it wouldn't show them the other 5.
Oh yeah, we actually took that out, but we'd like to scribble out all the others, yeah.
And how would you promote the app? Would this be to RBS customers? How would you get the volume?
So we'd get the app open for anyone, so it doesn't have to be a NatWest RBS Ulster Bank customer who would use it, which is one of the reasons why we think it will attract new customers as well when they see how cool the app is. There's various, obviously, avenues that you can promote apps in the modern age, word of mouth being probably the best one. But we want to get out there. Our target market to start with, when we first started looking at this on Friday and Saturday morning, was students and graduates, but we soon realised the actual target market is pretty much anyone of any age, including mums and children, even couples living together. So there's lots of ways that you can promote it to all the different groups, maybe starting with the students and graduates.
I'd say the UI and the UX in this would also be very, very key. So we'd have to put a lot of focus in making sure that it would be really easy to use for our customers.
Thank you.
Okay, we're ready? Yep.
Go.
Okay. We engage customers with existing needs and the needs that they don't know they have. We will do this with LifePlan through our mobile app. LifePlan will engage customers with existing services such as NatWest Invest and create demand for new mobile propositions. We have a great mobile app, but our Net Promoter Score doesn't reflect this. Customers don't have an easy way to do a financial health check on a mobile phone. LifePlan will solve this. Here's one example. We estimate there are more than 300,000 of our customers who could lose their homes. So Claire will now take you through a short demo to bring this to life.
Okay. So LifePlan is an enhancement to our existing mobile app. As a customer, I would see various prompts inserted, similar to those did you knows in branch or prompts used by telephony. When I click on one of these, or on the icon at the bottom, I am taken to LifePlan. I'm then given 3 simple options. I can elect to book an appointment using the existing channels. I can ask questions using the existing Message Us service. Or, more importantly, I can choose to self-serve. So on screens like this, I am invited to securely answer a series of questions that are currently requested as part of the digital financial health check in branches. These questions cover everyday banking, savings, borrowing, protection, and also questions about my lifestyle. Using that information, a report on my current situation and future goals is then produced. As now, I can choose what my priorities are, and in this example, I have decided to look at my family's protection needs. So in this scenario, LifePlan has identified that my family has a potential need of £230,000 additional life cover, meaning we can keep a home should either parent die. The link at the bottom would take you straight to the AIG site where you can easily request a quotation and buy cover. And this is only one way in which LifePlan can help me.
So LifePlan covers all aspects of our customer's life journey, and it acts as a living, breathing document that they can update at any time. The data captured we can use to help serve them better as a bank, and LifePlan encourages customers to fully consider their needs through a financial health check. So there's over 6 million active mobile users, and this is growing, and LifePlan enables us to engage with customers in the right way, and we believe 10% of our customers will use LifePlan in the next 18 months and drive revenues in excess of 10 million. Thank you.
So currently, a financial health check is done in the branch, yeah?
Yeah.
That's the issue.
And have you looked at how much overall time and cost you would save the bank if you put this through to people digitally?
So it's not just about replacing what the branches are doing now, although the branch footprint is closing. It's about customers who cannot access a branch or choose not to have a health check done either via a video banker or telephony. It gives them another way to do it. Some people would rather interact with us digitally than have to make the effort to go to a branch, phone, see somebody face to face.
I think the point is we've got some fantastic technology and a system that engages our customers with their needs, but you can only access it if they see somebody or talk to somebody. That's got to be mad.
I mean, this technology is already there. All the products, the services are already there. It's a case of pulling it all together and putting it on the app so that we can become digital first.
And how do you think you're going to get customers to engage with doing it themselves? Because, you know, as you said before, then they don't really want to think about these things. So how are you going to make it compelling for them to self-serve?
I mean, some customers prefer to self-serve now anyway. If they really don't want to do that, this is a bit of a carrot to get them to either book an appointment or come and see us face to face. But if they choose that channel, if that's the most convenient and the way that they prefer to engage with us, then it gives them that option, and that currently isn't there.
I think if you saw the prompts, Marcelino, what we're trying to do there is replace the prompts that your guys on like telephony do. Customer can ask for a balance, then they engage the customer, and the customer says something, and we provide a prompt, and next thing you know, you're booking a financial health check. Effectively, we're trying to do that digitally.
I mean, at the moment, a customer can log onto the app, see that they've got £200 with us. It doesn't point out to them that actually they've used their overdraft fairly consistently in the last 3 or 6 months, and maybe they need to investigate why. This would prompt them to do that.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No? Ah. 75% of middle-income young adults will struggle to own their own home. 75%. Savings are slow, rates are low, investments are too confusing, and nobody is helping our customers reach their goal. In an open banking world where aggregated accounts are the norm, Landmark will enable our customers to reach their saving potential and invest in their future homes at a faster pace while learning about stocks and shares. We have built a journey to connect your online banking to an investment platform. We have 9.4 million primary current account customers and 10% of a £1.3 trillion mortgage market. And we want to become the UK's most trusted platform for all financial journeys our customers take. No one offers the end-to-end journey from saving for a house to buying it. And let's not forget, banks are still the most trusted institution. Building on existing capabilities, we could open a new revenue stream, increase our mortgage market share, and most importantly, add amazing value for our customers, creating lifelong loyalty and satisfaction. So let me tell you about Jo. Jo's been thinking about investing for a while now. However, she's never had the confidence to do so. She goes on the Landmark website. She could learn more or start saving. She'll be presented with an aggregation of her accounts, and we've determined she can afford to save an extra £100 this month. So she chooses to do so. Now meet Jo. She's 21, recently graduated university, got her first salary-paying job. She wants to buy her first home at 26. However, the market predicts that she will not be able to do so until 31. So she puts in her saving goals, her time horizon, and is presented with the options to invest. She could go with a no-risk Help to Buy. She can go with a varied risk, managed fund investment with NatWest Invest, or she now has the knowledge and tools that she needs provided by her bank to go into our trusted trading platform partner, Acorn. Over the next 5 years, she'll be able to adjust how much she saves according to her personal circumstance, and then she'll be notified on her progress throughout this time. Fast forward 5 years. Woo! Jo's reached her target. She can now put that deposit down on the first home. However, so now we can take her through all the amazing home buying options we as a bank can offer her. Also, her circumstances, like many of us, could have changed. So she can change her investment goals, continue to invest, or cash out. What you've seen is a simplified journey from saving for your house to buying your first home, all through your bank, one bank. So, 75%. We can make that 75% help them mark their landmark. Investing for the many, not the few. I'll now open the floor up to questions.
Thank you.
Sorry.
What do you see as the biggest benefit of this versus other options for saving or investing?
So this benefit over other options. So this is like a one platform, all done through your bank. So like I said, we're the most trusted institution that our customers deal with still. All your data's in one place. It aggregates through open banking. All of your account data will be in one place. And then we're equipping them with the knowledge they need. We're not providing the advice, but if it comes from your bank, you're more likely to trust it. You don't have to go to Bloomberg, then Reuters, read the FT. It's all going to be on the Learn More page. And then they can say, I feel a bit more confident. I've got a spare £100 this month, let's start. And then that will keep building, their confidence will build, and hopefully they'll reach their saving goals a lot quicker.
Thank you for a great presentation. So you talked a bit about the start of the customer experience and the end. So what I'm interested in is what updates and connectivity do you have with the customer during the 5-year period where it's building? How do you see that working from a customer perspective?
Okay, so push notifications through the phone, through the app, just like most of your apps these days do. Instagram will tell you when you have a notification. Why can the app not tell you your investments made this percentage this month or this last year? So you'll get a constant reminder of what you're making over the years, and that will come through the investment platform. It's all linking it, and you can also choose whether you're going to be banking those funds as they come in, or you want to reinvest your returns throughout, depending on what their risk tolerance basically is. So it's a journey for them, and it's for them to learn constantly, and they're always going to know that they're part of that journey with their bank. The bank cares, wants them to get to that deposit, and then ultimately they're going to take their mortgage out with the bank. They're going to be able to pay off their mortgage because of all those skills that they learned earlier with the bank, and by that time their child will be 18 and doing the same thing, and they'll say go and use NatWest to do it again.
Very much. Thank you.
Any more for any more? Right, thank you guys.
I got a bit of exercise today. Yeah? Right. Who should I look at for the timer? Okay. Right. Hi, everyone. I've got a question for you. What would you do if you have a spare £2,000? How about own a house? There are 40 million young people aged between 20 and 34 in this country. 1 out of 4 of them is never going to own a house in their entire life. Why? Down payment is too high. Mortgage process is way too complicated. Commitment is stressing them out. We want to solve this. We are proposing a fractional property portfolio platform that links young people and startup investors together. We want to disrupt the housing market. With a little savings you have, you can become an owner and investor on building blocks. Let me introduce you to John, a 25-year-old young professional earning an average UK income of 18.9 thousand a year. But he's still being rejected outside the mortgage store. But now with building blocks, he's able to call on 2 properties. When you sign into the app, he sees these friendly messages say, "Welcome home." When you tap onto the block, he can see the 2 properties that he called on now. The first one being the one that he owned and he lived in and pay 50% of the rent. The second one, he owns, but he doesn't live in, but brings him a steady stream of income. And when he taps on the search bar, he can see a list of property that he can co-invest in with a lot of people from as little as £89. It sounds all good to John. But the question comes, panel, why would a bank want to run a platform like this? It's a first-time market no one has tapped into before. The revenue comes from a percentage of the house value being transacted on the platform and the annual fee that we charge from our member. And the cost, like Jack Ma said, at the server. The risk is low because the bank do not own any property on the platform. We are the disruptor. Today, we invite all of you here to join us to disrupt the housing market before anyone else does it. Thank you. And now I would like to invite my team of awesome people to join me at the stage. First one is Rex, our mortgage guru. Second one is Deji. He designed everything that you've seen on the screen for us. The third one, Jason, our developer. And together we welcome any questions from the panel.
Hi, so are you seeing this as getting income from rental growth or from equity? Where's the income? What's the benefit for the person investing it through this shared ownership platform?
So if you see the block tab, yeah, the second property is what the investor buy, say a 10% of the share. So each month he receives 10% of the rent that the tenant pay to all the investors. Yeah.
And who does own the property in that case?
Who manage the property?
Yeah.
Is the platform. Everyone pay money through the platform and distribute to everyone. Does it answer your question?
I was wondering who actually sort of owns and manages the property, as it were.
Who manage the property? So we are looking to find a third-party company to include the housing insurance, the fix and features, the plumbage doesn't working, the hot water stopped working. It will be outsourced to a third-party company to run for it. It's given them the exclusivity to manage all the properties under this and on this platform, and our tenants and our investor, they will know there's one number, no other number that you need to call when something goes wrong.
Is this on? Yeah. Dan, just to further to your question, all the house is split into blocks, as Esther said, and once 100% of those blocks are owned, everyone's an owner of that property. Whether you're receiving a rental income or whether you're living in that property, you co-own the house.
Have you thought of what would happen in case of a dispute, in case of missed payments or repayments or any of that?
I think the issue of dispute will come in when you
if you want to live with two other people, you have sentiments attached to the property, and you know the person living with you, you're fighting for the shower house in the morning, that's where the dispute comes from. But in our model, the person that live in there could be a family, and the rest of the people, they invest in the property simply because they want the money back. So is it the dispute that you're talking about?
Thanks, guys. Ready? You got them all, Barry? Okay, a round of applause for all of our presentations. They were amazing. Thank you so much, guys. And thank you so much to all of the teams that have participated over the weekend. It's been fantastic and great support from everyone listening to the presentations as well. So a few things. We would like to obviously invite the judges now to deliberate and find our winners. If we could ask you to go to the presentation space, and we'll be able to get the results for you guys. We are running a little behind, so we want to make sure that we should be out of here by 6:30 by the end of the night. So for the moment, we want you to grab a drink, and as yesterday they were so well popular, we have provided more donuts. And I think I've seen loads of people already eating them, so hopefully there's some left for everyone else. We're going to make an announcement by timings. Everyone, just keep here. Yeah, sorry, I mentioned donuts. I made a mistake there. We're going to make an announcement about when you need to get back here for the winners in about 20 minutes. And then if you're getting taxis, for those that are travelling back, you need to go to the far entrance, not this entrance here, but all the way to the end of the building. That's where the taxis will be picking you up. But in the meantime, grab a drink. It's all over. Relax.